जय राधा रमण हरि बोल। जय राधा रमण हरि बोल। हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि जय प्रभु की। Please sing it loudly as you can. जय राधा रमण हरि बोल। 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 हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल। जय श्री यशोदा दामोदर जी की जय श्री श्री कार्तिक मास की जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय गौर प्रेमानंद।
So we welcome all devotees today joining us for the auspicious occasion of hearing about the beautiful Leela of Lord Damodar being bound by his mother in Vrindavan Dham. You all must have heard, if you know history, of a Prime Minister in England known as Mr. Gladstone. It was at the turn of the century when he was the Prime Minister. There was a gentleman diplomat who wanted to come and see him and he wanted to take some time to meet the Prime Minister. And to his surprise, the secretary had told him that the Prime Minister is very busy. He has a lot of things to look at, and he's very engaged. Just sit down and wait. And so the guest waited and waited and waited, but nothing happened. And so in a little while he decided, let me just go in and see what is happening. And then he snuck in and opened the door. And he was thinking perhaps the Prime Minister was very busy discussing important issues of the day for his country, his nation, with someone else, or maybe the committee. But to his surprise, he actually saw that the Prime Minister was on all fours, and he was on the floor. He was walking like a horse or a beast of burden. And he had a little child on him, and the child was riding him like someone would ride a horse. And the child kept saying, "Grandpa, faster, 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 faster." And Mr. Gladstone was moving as fast as he could, the Prime Minister of England. Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, used this pastime to tell us a very important point. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is very powerful. Krishna is known in Bhagavad Gita as Aham Sarvasya Prabho, Mattaha Sarvam Pravartate. He is the origin of all material and spiritual worlds. Krishna is supposed to be so powerful that in Bhagavatam, it is very, in Mukunda Bhagavad Stotra, there's a very nice shloka actually that tells us the power of Krishna. Prithvi re nuranur payam sikarikaha falgus pulingo lagus tejo nishvasvanam maruttanutanam randram sushukshmam navaha Shudra Rudra Pitamaha Pravritaha Kita Samasta Suraha Drishti Yatra Satarako Vijayate Shri Padaduli Kanaha. Kulashekar Alva says something very powerful about Krishna. He says that actually Krishna is so powerful that the whole earth in front of Krishna is like a speck of dust. He says that all the strong waters of the oceans in front of Krishna are like droplets. He says that all the strong winds of the world in front of Krishna are just like faint sighs, Nishvasvanam, like that. That's all it is. Then he says this vast expanse of this universe, the sky, the ether, that's also nothing in front of Krishna. It's like Nabihi. It's like a hole, in our navel. And then he says that the great Brahma and Rudra, they are very powerful, but they are also working in the superintendence of this material jurisdiction of Krishna. And then finally he says, Kitaha Samasta Suraha. The devatas that we see in this world, they are like Kitaha. Kitaha means insects. They are very small, very insignificant. Then Kulashekar Alva says, Drishte yatra satarako vijayate. If we want to be successful in our lives, then we should understand one thing, that even one dust from Lord Krishna's lotus feet is powerful enough to conquer all these great elements of the material world. This is how great Krishna is. That is how great, to a lesser extent, Mr. Gladstone was as the Prime Minister. He was, at that time, the British Empire was known as the empire where the sun would never set. It was the most powerful empire in the whole world, and therefore, no one thought the British would actually end. They were infallible, literally. And so Mr. Gladstone was the most powerful person in the world. Yet, to the surprise of the diplomat, he was behaving like an ordinary person, so personal to his grandson. I'm sure you all are also in that situation. In the office, you look very serious, but at home, your children bully you, isn't it true? Especially the smaller ones here, all three sitting here. I'm sure they bully their parents. Parents will tell you they're supremely independent. When they go home, then you realize they have no independence, right? Ishita is also laughing. God is personal by nature. Please, God is not impersonal. We are so used to having this idea in Hinduism that God is impersonal. But we lack the knowledge to understand the impersonal nature of God is inferior to the personal nature of God. A very simple example that's given is the sun. The sun is intensely personal, but the rays of the sun, right, you can't really see them. You can figure something, they are like rays, they are there, but you can't have anything to do with them because they are like void. So the sun's rays are not the same as the sun. The sun is the source of the rays. So the impersonal feature of Krishna is there, but it is never equal or greater than the personal feature of Krishna. That's why during Kartik Mass, we remember this beautiful pastime of Lord Damodar. Krishna was very personal to the residents of Vrindavan Dham. Why? Because they worshipped him not as supreme, but they loved him as a child. They loved him like a father and mother would. There was no motivation in their hearts except to serve Krishna. They didn't want anything from Krishna. They just wanted to hear about Krishna and it was Amrit for them. That's all. In fact, they prayed, Jayati Edikam Drishnutavakas. In the first line of the first prayer of the gopis, they say so nicely that Krishna, because you descended in the land of Vrindavan, right? Shrayata Indira, the goddess Indira has come into Vrindavan and she has made it auspicious because you are there. You are there. So for us, auspiciousness is when Krishna is present in our lives. All our endeavors are aimed towards pleasing Krishna. And so the gopis say, Vrindavan is auspicious because of you. Number 13 Kaf Road is auspicious because of Krishna. Right? A temple is not auspicious because it was built. It is auspicious because the Lord is present. And therefore your lives become auspicious when Krishna is invoked in your heart. When you practice your devotional service to Him. And that is the whole premise of the pastime of Lord Damodara. One morning in Vrindavan, Krishna was asleep and Mother Yashoda woke up in the morning. It was not an ordinary morning. Bhagavatam tells us it was Diwali day. Actually, it was on Diwali day. And on Diwali day, Mother Yashoda woke up. And Bhagavatam tells us even what color sari she wore. She wore a saffron yellow colored sari. Very beautiful. She had so much of ornaments on her. She had a beautiful waist girdle that she tied tightly. And she had multi flowers in her hair. But she didn't wake up to look good. Her maidservants were busy with the day because Diwali was there. But she decided, let me do something personally for Krishna. This is the first thing we must understand. All the great devotees of the Lord, they never tell somebody to do bhakti for them. They will do it themselves. This is very important. If you want to benefit in bhakti, you must do it yourself. Bhakti cannot be outsourced, they say. You can outsource everything else, but you cannot outsource bhakti. You must perform it personally. That's the first point. So Mother Yashoda decided, let me churn yogurt into butter for Krishna. Why? Because Krishna loves butter. You all know that Krishna steals butter, isn't it? If you stole butter, you'll be in trouble. Krishna steals butter, we glorify Him. That is Krishna, right? So no one can imitate Krishna. If you want to imitate Krishna, carry Govardhan Hill with the left pinky finger. And if you can do that, then you go and steal butter. So Krishna was stealing butter, and Yashoda Mata was worried because he was stealing butter from everybody's house, eating in everyone's house, but not eating butter from her own house. So she got the best cows of the cows that she had, and they gave it the best grass, and the cow produced the best milk. From the milk, she put it in the pot and she started churning that milk into yogurt, into butter. It was a laborious task, Bhagavatam says, and she was endeavoring. This is the next point we should understand in Bhakti. Bhakti means there must be some endeavor. When you put in endeavor, Krishna will reciprocate. Ye yata mam prapatyante tam stataya vajamyaham. As you come forward to Krishna, Krishna will reciprocate with you. That is your surrender. So we all have come to Gauranga Center today. That is your endeavor. And Krishna is reciprocating now with you. How is He reciprocating? He's allowing you to hear about it. And in a while, he will allow you to light lamps for him. And even better, at the end, you will have prasadam. So you see, so much of benefits just by being personal with Krishna and endeavoring for Krishna. So Mother Yashoda was endeavoring very hard, but she was not complaining. Sometimes we have the tendency, when we are given a lot of service or the service is difficult, we complain into it. Have you all done sometimes things like that? Where you do something for someone, you love them, but there's too much hard work, so you complain and you complain and you do. It's a very unsavory state of affairs. Bhakti should never be done that way. There may be endeavor, but we are very happy for the endeavor. So Mother Yashoda was churning and she was remembering Krishna's pastimes. Grahe grahe gopavadhu kalambe sarve niditva samavapyayogam punyani lavani patanti nityam govinda damo dharmadaveti. Devakinandan Thakur says so beautifully that in the evenings, all the residents of the town would come together from their houses, grahe grahe. They will sit down and they will gossip. Now we all know that gossip is not good. We do it, but we say it's not good. You know, we say no, it's not good. We don't mind gossiping about others, but we hate when others gossip about us. But in Vrindavan Dham, devotees were gossiping every day, but they were gossiping about Krishna. They didn't speak about anyone else. It was transcendental gossip. So if you have a gossiping tendency, then talk about Krishna. Better than talking about someone else. And because they were doing that, they were completely peaceful. So that's what Yashoda Mata was doing. She was just singing loudly, Krishna, kill this demon, Krishna, kill that demon. And she was very peaceful. Krishna was sleeping and he came out because Krishna never sleeps in our hearts. He's always awake to us. And so he came out and he indicated to this mother to stop the journey because he wanted milk from her. So Mother Yashoda stopped the journey. Sometimes we may think, why should I stop the journey? Krishna, wait, let me finish my journey. But the point of the journey was to please Krishna. So if Krishna comes and says you stop the journey, stop it. Because the object is Krishna, not something else, not someone else. Sometimes we perform a devotional service. We want to do nice decoration for Krishna. But in the midst of doing it, we forget it's actually to please Krishna. But when we finish it, we want it to please us. This is the best. This is the best. But does it please Krishna? You see the difference? One will bind you to the world. The other will free you from the world. So Mother Yashoda for Krishna. Or put Krishna down for a while and go and save the milk. She decided, let me save the milk. And she put Krishna down. And the moment she put Krishna down, Krishna became very upset. Krishna is God, but he's playing the part of a child. Which child who is halfway fed, when you put them down, they will become like sadhus? No. For that matter, whether the child is fed or not fed, which child is a sadhu? All three are looking at me. Right? Children and sadhu somehow they don't mix. So it is natural, and Krishna was very natural as a child. So the moment he was put down, he became angry. Bhagavatam says that his cheeks became very reddish, and he bit on his reddish lips in anger. And he decided, let me teach my mother a lesson. So what did he do? He took a stone and he broke the pot, which she was working very hard on, and butter flowed out. Krishna loved butter, right? So he took some butter and tasted it, but he also realized he was in trouble. So he decided, let me run away. As he ran, some butter touched his foot, and the footprints of Krishna became visible. Sometimes on Diwali day, we have the tradition where we mark out the footprint of Krishna coming into the house or going out. It is based on this Leela, right? So Mother Yashoda came out, saved the milk, but Krishna was not there. So she decided, I must find him, because now she realized he must have done this. But Bhagavatam says Krishna, that Mother Yashoda was smiling, because she was thinking, Krishna is such an intelligent child. He has decided to run away because he knows I will be angry with him. But I cannot let him be. At this rate, he will become a juvenile delinquent. He will grow up to be very naughty. He'll get in trouble with the police. So I have to save him. So Mother Yashoda decided, today I will punish him. I will take a stick and I will go after him. So she went inside the rooms, following the footprints. And inside a vast store, she saw beautiful, she had all these nice pots of yogurt and butter, all lined up. They were all very high. The ceiling was very high. Why do you think the ceiling was high? So that Krishna wouldn't steal them. But Krishna was very smart. You see this beautiful picture here? She saw that Krishna had turned the mortar, which normally is down, and he was standing on it, and with his tiptoes, he could just about reach the pots of yogurt. Some of the yogurt and the butter he could reach. He took it from inside and he started feeding his very good friends, the monkeys of Vrindavan. You can see the monkeys here. Sometimes he could break the pot because he couldn't reach inside and the butter would flow. And to the amazement of Yashoda Mata, he was just taking so much butter and he was feeding the monkeys. Right? He was not just giving them little, he was just practically putting it on their faces and they were licking it off. They were all very happy. And Mother Yashoda was thinking, what an amazing sight. But she did not understand the relevance of this sight. Shastras tell us these monkeys of Vrindavan are not ordinary monkeys. These specific monkeys who dealt with Krishna and served him, they were the Vanaras who served Lord Ram in Treta Yuga. And they had served the Lord so well that at the end of the battle with Ravana, when Lanka was conquered, Lord Ram asked them, ask me any boon and I will give it to you. And they asked only for one thing. That Krishna, we just want, no, Lord Ram, we want an opportunity to serve you. That's all. The same thing is said by Vritrasura in Bhagavatam. Nanakamrishtam, nachaparameshtam, nasarvabhaumam, narasadipatyam, nayoga siddhi, apunarbhavamba, samanjasatva, virahaya kamshe. Samanjas means source of opportunity. So Lord Damodara is the source of opportunity. Krishna is the source of all our opportunities to worship Him. Never think that you have created an opportunity to remember Krishna. He is the source of opportunities. And so Vritrasu said in those prayers, I don't want the lower earth, I don't want the lower systems, I don't want the higher heavenly planets, I don't want earth, I don't want siddhi, I don't even want liberation. If it means I do not have an opportunity to serve you. This is the same mood here that the Vanaras had. And so Lord Ram said, so be it. When I come as Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, you will come as the monkeys and you will serve me. Except that in this Leela, Krishna went one step further. He decided that he will serve them because they had served him. This is the personal nature of Krishna. But Mother Yashoda just thought they were monkeys. And so Krishna fulfilled, right, the desires of his great devotees one yuga later. Krishna never forgets to save us. He never forgets to serve us. Very important. And so when Mother Yashoda walked in, the monkey saw her first because she's walking in this way. They bolted out through the windows, leaving only Krishna there. And when Krishna was left, he was very fearful. He turned and he saw Mother Yashoda. Seeing Mother Yashoda was fine, but seeing the stick with her was not fine. And so Mother Yashoda thought Krishna would just stand there and he would become very afraid. But no, Krishna decided, let me run away from Mother. And Mother Yashoda chased Krishna through the house, but she couldn't catch him. She tried very hard, but she couldn't. Already in the morning, she had worked so hard to churn butter and it broke. Now she was working very hard to catch Krishna, but she couldn't catch him. And Mother Yashoda surrendered to Krishna in her heart. Krishna, I can't catch you. Please, let me catch you. And when Krishna heard that prayer of Mother Yashoda, simple, pure, unmotivated, without any malice, without any pride, anger, envy. What did she do? What did he do? He agreed to be caught by his mother. This is an amazing point. Why? Because in Shastras it is said, Jnanis are chasing Krishna. Karmis are chasing Krishna. Yogis are chasing Krishna. The demons are chasing Krishna. But nobody can catch Krishna. That's a very important point. Nobody can catch Krishna. But everyone is chasing Krishna. Krishna can only be caught by love. And that is what Mother Yashoda did. So Mother Yashoda then was allowed by Krishna to catch him. And at that point of time, if you see this beautiful deity here, Krishna exhibited the quality of fear. And that's amazing. Because in Bhagavatam it is stated by Kunti Mata that fear personified is fearful of Krishna. And yet Krishna became fearful of his mother. He exhibited symptoms of fear. He had mascara and he was actually crying and the tears wiped away the mascara. They came down like rivulets on his face. He was shaking in fear and his sharp-shaped earrings were shaking and so were his jewels. Mother Yashoda decided, I don't want to make this boy any more afraid. And she put her stick down. But she said, I must tie Krishna up. This is a very seminal part of the pastime. Because Kalyayana, a great demon, wanted to catch Krishna when he came out of Mathura. And at that time of time, Kalyayana was ready to catch him. But Krishna came out with no weapons to fight him. And he just walked away. And Kalyayana thought, this Krishna is a coward. I will catch him and I will bind him such that I will crush him. So the more closer he came to Krishna, Krishna would suddenly be miles away. And Krishna led him into the darkness of a cave where Kalyayana thought he was very powerful until he came to the intersection of the cave and he saw a figure lying with a shroud. And he thought, this Krishna is coward number one. Runs away from me, very fearful, pulls a blanket over his head and he's hiding. And he kicked it very hard. Except that the figure was not Krishna. It was the great king Muchukunda who had fought for the Devatas and who was sleeping as a boon from them. And when he woke up and saw that his sleep was disturbed, his first syllable that he uttered was so powerful that Kalyayana was killed instantly. But Yashoda Mata was not a powerful demon, but she had no qualifications. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta Shrivir, Edamana, Madaha Kuman, Naivarhati Avidatum Vai, Tvamakinchana Gochara. Kunti Mata says that in this material world, there are people with high births. Janma, Aishwarya, they have plenty of money in the bank. Shruta, they have a lot of education. Shrivir, they're very good to look at. In material world, if you have 4 of this, you're very, very fortunate, they say. But in the spiritual world, if you become very intoxicated by these, they become disqualifications. You see the point? They are disqualifications. Mother Yashoda was not attached to any material quality. If that material quality could help her in the service of Krishna, she was ready. And that is why Krishna agreed to be bound by Mother Yashoda. So Bhagavatam tells us Mother Yashoda was not bound by, Krishna was not bound by the rope. He was bound by love of Mother Yashoda. It was love that actually binds Krishna. It's very important. You know, in Dwarka there's a nice pastime. One time, Narada Muni went to see Rukmini Satyabhama. It was a Wednesday in Dwarka. Wednesday in Dwarka used to be the day when Satyabhama, Rukmini, even Krishna, they would give dhan. They would give charity. So Narada came to see Satyabhama and asked Satyabhama, Satyabhama, I have come today. And Satyabhama said, Naradaji, whatever you want on Wednesday, I will give it to you. Ask. And he said, really? She said, yes. Give me that which is most precious to you. Most precious to you. And she said, I have so much jewelry, I'll give it to you. And Narada said, are you sure the jewelry is the most precious thing to you? Then Satyabhama realized, oh my God. The most precious thing is Krishna. He wants Krishna. I can't give him Krishna. And then she said, Naradaji, I cannot give you Krishna. But I can give you the equivalent of Krishna. So she brought a big scale. And then she told Krishna, come here. And Krishna had a very hand-packed relationship with Satyabhama. So when Satyabhama said, come, He came very meekly. And she told Krishna, sit down on the scale. And so Krishna sat on the scale, very obediently. Now she took all the jewelry from her palace and she put it. And there was so much. I think all the combined jewelry shops in Srivan Road will not even come close to what Satyabhamaji had. But Krishna did not even budge a little bit from the border, not even a move. And now she was desperate, because if there was no equivalent, Krishna goes with Narada. At that point of time, out of desperation, she turned to Rukmini Mata. She said, if I lose Krishna, you also lose Krishna. So now you better do something about it, right? So now it became Rukmini Mata's headache. But when she saw what Satyabhama had done, she said, foolish girl, why are you doing this? I know the perfect thing to do. And what did she do? She just went to the garden and she with devotion plucked one little Tulsi leaf. Tulsi Maharani, who is the most precious and treasured devotee of the Lord. She told the maidservants, take all the gold away. And she put just one Tulsi Mala on the other end of the scale. And the scale went right down and Krishna went right up. Not even equal. Not even equal. Right up. And at that point in time, Narada became very happy. And Rukmini Mata took the Tulsi and said, Naradaji, this is the most precious thing in the world. Take it. Now go. Don't come back on a Wednesday. And that was it. The point I'm bringing up here is that we value so many things in life. Mother Yashoda did not value anything material. All she valued was her love for Krishna. She didn't ask Krishna for anything. And that is why Krishna agreed to be bound. That is bhakti. You cannot replace bhakti with any amount of material possessions. You can only equalize bhakti with your devotion. And Tulsi Maharani had that. So Mother Yashoda went back into the room and she thought, Diwali is done. I am peaceful. But Krishna decided, I cannot be bound by my mother forever. Maybe for a while, but not forever. And now Krishna decided to crawl. As he crawled with the mota which was vertical turned horizontal. And he walked with purpose to the end of the garden and the courtyard, between two beautiful large trees known as Yamal Arjuna trees. And at that point of time, Krishna went through, he was very small, but the mota was stuck. But with a little bit of push, the both trees fell down with a crash. And in their place stood two beautiful, effulgent beings. And Krishna asked, who are you beings? And why are you in my courtyard? And they said, we are the two sons of Nala Kubera. No, we are the two sons of Kubera. You all know who Kubera is, isn't it? He's the superintendent of death, of wealth, not death, that's Yamaraj. He's superintendent of wealth. So, the two boys said, because our father had so much money, we didn't work. We had so much time. We were just intoxicated half the time, bathing and enjoying life. One day in the Mandakini river, high up in the mountains of Kailash, sacred to Lord Shiva, we were spotting around with some ladies when Narada passed by. The ladies put on clothes and stood before him with veneration. But we came out in our state of intoxication and stood with nothing on. Narada became compassionate to us, not angry with us. And he said, since you don't like clothes, better you don't wear clothes and become trees. Because you don't understand the value of the human body. What is the value of the human body? And actually Narada will ask one very nice question in this chapter. And I want to share that because I think that's something we all should remember. This is what he says before the pastime comes. He says, while alive, does this body belong to your employer? Does it belong to yourself, your father, your mother, or your mother's father? Does this body belong to the person who takes it away by force? Or does this body belong to someone who purchases it with love? Does this body belong to the sons who will burn it in fire? Or does this body belong to anyone who claims it? Then he says, amongst all these people who claim to have the body, no one can ascertain that to whom this body belongs. Very nice point, isn't it? Actually, this body belongs to no one. Certainly not ourselves. It belongs to Krishna. So therefore, what Narada was telling them, don't waste human life. But they became trees because they wasted it. But Narada made one prayer. My prayer is that somehow or another you will be liberated. How? By coming in contact with Krishna. And they thought how and when. And Narada also did not know how and when. But he just made a petition and led it to Krishna. And Krishna decided to make the perfect arrangement. That they were born as trees in the courtyard where Krishna would be. When he finished his pastime, he would come and deliver them. And true enough, Krishna ends the pastime by telling them something very beautiful. He says, my dear boys, frankly speaking, you are not very dear to me. In fact, you have nothing to do with me. You never worship me. But because Devashri Priyatamo, because Devashri Narada is very dear to me, therefore his prayer for you is very dear to me. And therefore whatever he desired for you has become dear to me. This is the greatness of bhakti. Not only is the Lord merciful, but his devotees are extra merciful. And because of Narada's prayer, millions of years ago, these two boys benefited by taking darshan of Krishna. So what is this pastime about? It's about relationship. Remember I spoke about Blackstone in the beginning? We all must develop a relationship with Krishna. And this relationship is personal. It is not impersonal. And when you develop a personal, unmotivated relationship with Krishna, your relationship with him will be uninterrupted. It will never be interrupted by material calamities, material expediencies, nothing. It will continue. That is why this relationship is between three categories in this pastime. Krishna and Mother Yashoda, correct? Krishna and the monkeys, Lord Ram, the Vanaras. And the third, Krishna and Narada. And through that, the deliverance of Nala Kuvera and Manigri. This pastime has three ropes. Only one rope we can see, but two other ropes are there. The first rope is the rope of love that Mother Yashoda bound Krishna by. The other rope was the rope that actually Narada ji bound Krishna by his promise to deliver Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. And the third rope is a yuga ago, where Lord Ram was bound by the love of the Vanaras and so delivered them in Vrindavan Dham as the monkeys with Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Yashoda Damodar ji ki Jai. With I go over pray. No matter how many times we hear this pastime, the pastime is as fresh as ever. Now we are going to light the lamps for the Lord. I'm going to sing Damodar Ashtakam. And I think, Prabhu, are we going to put it up? Yes. Apaita Prabhu will put it up for all of you. My humble request is, I think the Prabhus and Matajis will organize you. And you come forward, right? Take the lamps. You can offer it to Lord Damodar and offer it to Mother Yashoda. What should your prayer be, Prabhus and Matajis? You know? Should it be a better job? Should it be more money in the bank? It can be a better job and more money in the bank, but it's not complete. Please pray today, right, in Kartik Mass for pure devotional service. Please pray to develop a relationship with Krishna. That will please Krishna, that will bring you true happiness. Otherwise, the other happiness that you get from material things, they will be there for a while, but eventually they must go. It is the nature of the world, whether you accept it or not. Okay? And once you do it, don't worry, you can go down and straight away have prasadam. Because otherwise you'll have to wait for 100 people to finish. And by that time, your blood pressure will go up more prasadam. So the moment you finish, you can have your prasadam. And remember, we have books, right? At Prabhu, we have books here. So everyone will take a book here, Prabhu. How are the books going? Okay. Yeah. So Golden Prabhu, you will have to that. Okay. There's a